Hi y'all. Today's recording is gonna be short. Uh, just got something from my mail today that I also call I bid online. Uh, just a note to myself not to forget. Malaysia just started to tax uh, import tax or import duties at 10% for any goods regardless of what is the item is will be subjected to income tax of 10%, for if which also includes low cost goods that is worth less than 500 ringgit. So basically, what is transpired is everything you buy from 10 cent or even 1 cent to a million or so, or whatever it is, whatever you're buying, you'll be subject to tax. So everything that you bring into Malaysia right now is subject to 10% tax of the value of the product or a value of the item that uh, I bid or for anyone else. So this is something a revelation on this, even for the product that does not exist in the country, which, for example, I was actually trying to get a catalog book for paper currency of United States since I started to collect United States banknotes. So anything I buy from eBay, especially like books, may not may it will subject to the import duty or tax on that matter. So the problem it is the kick throw is I understand that they wanted to curtail Malaysian citizens from buying products overseas. They want the citizens itself to buy and purchase any product, even the low cost products in Malaysia in support of the businesses who pay duty, who pay the import tax also. Would it's kind of like jeopardizing their business. That so the government is trying to implement such a thing so that private citizens were forced to navigate to purchase from local industry, a local merchant, so that the local merchants and businesses able to survive, whatever you want to call it. Of course, it is a very disadvantage for me because none of the local merchants in Malaysia prove to provide the items or products I need, such as US currency, especially old US currency. They don't have that. And especially the catalog book for like Freeburg's catalog book on United States currency. That book I was not able to find any bookstore able to purchase the order because they do not so-called recognize the publishers, or they don't have any connection with the publisher or whatsoever. So I'm finding a very difficulty of getting any books from catalog books for myself for reference and to study it, especially those who want to study about the dates and how many numbers of circulation, unless there are any books in online that I could get through online, a digital copy perhaps. But as far as I know, such catalog books, a hard copy, a book itself, was better a million times over than a digital copy. But yeah, at this point of time, getting a book and pay a 10% extra is very painful for me because most of the products I buy, I have to pay the country of origin tax, their state tax or whatever tax. So I have to pay their tax or VAT, around 20 over percent, probably America 10 or 15%. Then coming to my country at the port of entry, I have to pay an additional 10%, and that is subject to the currency rate exchange. If the day was the currency, my country's currency is going bad, it's going to be more expensive for me. Vice versa, it will be very good if it goes very strong. But for the past 12 months, not so. It's been going down the drain, and US dollar is getting stronger and stronger for already 12 months. So it is very bad for me. Not to be very politicized on any item, on these policies. I think the current government is doing well than the last government that has been running for more than 50 years or so. Same thing, same so. So I expect something new, but I did not expect something new that hurt me as a private citizen. But anyway, they're doing their best for their country anyway, so I'll leave it as it is. But something like this that document to have a condition that it applies to all products or every item is unfair to many private citizens, especially myself. Even a book that I'm trying to get, the locals are not selling it. The local merchants are not able to procure the book because they just simply, technically, the company doesn't do business with free books publishers for the book US catalog for currencies. So I have to buy it from Amazon, or I have to buy from eBay or somebody else in the United States, import it into my country. It is pretty unfair that I have been taxed on something that the locals not even provide, where else it's supposed to help the local businesses to flourish. But anyway, enough with that. That will be another sideline that I will put disclaimer for myself. Anything that I bid in the future, I have to be careful, because everything that I now purchase in outside my country, and also bid something out of my country, not only I have to pay the country where the products are coming from, their tax and their so-called export tax, whatever tax they have, I have to pay that. Coming into my country near the port of entry, I have to pay additional 10% tax, and subject to the currency rate. So anyway, today is going to be very short, and also very happy and very exciting news for me, that I finally got the note that I dreamt of getting. I've already quite happy 3 weeks ago, because I won the bid and I'm the winner, fair and square, and with a reasonable price. Actually, I don't know whether it's worth it, but without me studying with the Freeburg catalog book, I might not have a very deep understanding. For those who have the deep understanding on this, perhaps you can tell me, because I'm just referring back to items sold in eBay as a reference point of what is the current price it is. A current price of it, sorry, forget me. But I start first product, the bit I won. There's only 2 notes. Humbly, I won only 2 notes. Very hard, very tough. So outbid me until that I think it's not worth for its value that I'm going to bid. So a lot of the items that I had 3 weeks ago I bid was not viable for me to continue bidding higher. So I have to withdraw. Although I'm going to miss that some of the banknotes for my collection, but there will be future times on that. Now, so the first one I want to introduce is that I've won is this one. This is the Central Bank of China. Central Bank of China. The year is the Republic year 36, if I'm not mistaken, or 38. Yeah, basically in Roman numerical is the year 1947. Yeah, 1947. 500 custom gold unit, UNC, uncirculated. Very hard to find something like this in uncirculated, but of course, looking at a point and looking at a catalog book, especially from the standard catalog of the world currency, it's kind of referring to uncirculated is a price range of about 430 to $35 US dollars. I got this one for about, yeah, around, probably, if I'm not mistaken, 30. I got this one for about $20 20 or $25. I couldn't recall, but adding up all the taxes, it just got back to the original market price, $30, $35 for uncirculated. So it was pretty much safe point for me on this one. This is the one I couldn't find in my local dealers. They don't have this. Even they have the custom gold unit. They have the very common one, the 5 custom gold unit, the 10 custom gold unit, 20 and 50, and also 100. Although 100 is quite common in the world's supply, but my dealers tend to see the flea market, that the dealers here in my city, my town, they charge exorbitant, a ridiculous price. Thank God I already got that one when I was very young. I got it that time was for like what, less than $5 actually. But it's pretty worn off. It's very yellow, but it maintains sharpness, crisp, but yellow. It has stain, the aging stain marks. But anyway, for this one, I look at it, is very good. Colors are bright, sharp, edges are sharp. There are no color aging, probably a few signs of aging, if you can see here, if I'm mistaken. There, can you see that? The spot, there are a few spot areas that are stained, but above all, this is not folded. So I find that this is a very brilliant note, and I'm quite happy that I got this note to add in my collection. Of course, this type of note for custom gold unit, there are vastly a lot of it, so I'm still not there yet in completion. Of course, some of those notes are so-called specimen notes. So for me as a collector, I tend not to collect specimen notes because they are not interesting to me. If you're an investor, or I'm doing it as investment, probably I'll buy it just for investment and willingly to sell it off, even I only have one type of that note. But other than that, I don't buy specimen notes. It's not conducive for me. So yeah, this is one note. I'll put it one side here, or I'll just put it here like that. Now, the note that I'm waiting for, the one that I can pee my pants, some would say, the note that I dream to have as my first collection of the United States banknote is the Education Series, $1 silver, the Education Series. Is a gorgeous thing. Beautiful. It's a very beautiful note. I think, to me, this is one of the most brilliant design, one of the most brilliant series design. Thumbs up to the engravers, to those engravers at that time who thought out of the box to design something like that. Of course, the logic of designing some banknotes like this, there is a reason of practicality. One of it is because how are we able to counter counterfeiters? One of the good ways, as I said last time in my previous videos, that the more you complex in your design of engraving, the more difficult for people who try to imitate or to counterfeit or alter the banknote. That is one of the security features in the old days, where there is no where the invention of watermark, the invention of what do you call it, holograms, silver lining kind of things, micro printing, very small micro printing. Those were virtually impossible to produce at that era, when the Industrial Revolution just start rolling into the Western civilization to the peak. This note in 18, if I'm not mistaken, this is the note. Oh yeah, look at the back. Brilliant. I'll tell more about the story about this at the back. But this one, I wanted to say that this is a brilliant note. Series of 1896. Yeah, there's it. You can see that? 1896. I mean, at that time, this note is already more than 100 years old. It's brilliant in design. I love it. And I intend in the future to get the $2 and the $5 in a similar context of condition, very fine and above. I can't think that it's fine or very good or good level, because a lot of the details that has put it into by the engravers into the design of this educational series will be lost. And I think to myself, what's the point in collecting this note when the details are all gone? Although it is very hot series, a lot of people who collects US currency, this is one of the top chain that you need to have in your collection. And the exchange rate, I mean the buying and selling, is still very high of its value, even if it's just $1 silver. Currently, if it's if it's running around good, fine or very fine, it's already a benchmark of more than 600 and above US dollar. I got mine, this one, on a blessing of about 320 US dollar. For its condition, I think it's pretty good, but for me, the details are there. Some of it is in the same category grading of this, same category grading number. Probably it's still fine or very fine, but the details are missing. But when I saw this in the auction, there were actually two in the auction. One is very difficult to see all the details, and especially the Washington DC behind here, and the Constitution. You literally can't see those details, and they are marked as almost the same condition in grade by the auctioneer's opinion, their appraisal. Both appraised are the same, fine to very fine. This one much better, and I'm quite blessed because the other one was about $280, $85. That was but the won by one of the bidders. I won this one around $320. So if I calculate it in ringgit, it's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so about 1,500 ringgit. Yeah, this is a 1,500 ringgit, and a lot of it in eBay selling point is above 1,800 to 2,500 ringgit. Of course, it's better condition than mine, like such as there's no tearing like this one has. There's no much fall or missing pieces like this one. I kind of accept that. I have a principle. I don't like to buy a note for my collection that is missing piece, which a lot of the US dollar, because of the old custom or superstitious custom, the $2 or what, they tend to try to clip off half of it here. That's a big no-no for me for a collection, because it's a missing part of a design. If the front side of the border is damaged, but it doesn't eat into this design, this one is almost as it is. You can see almost eat into here. Maybe I'll bring it up here. You can see it like there. It's almost destroying the design right here. I usually would not buy it, or I will let it go. But knowing this note is very difficult to find, and knowing that I have bid for about 1,500 ringgit, or $320, is a steal to me. I got it for a steal. A lot of it they're selling above that, about $200, $300, because this product, there are willing buyers, and the number of people selling this are very little. And sometimes above average, there is quite a number of them, but they are still riding high at its price compared to other notes of its age and value, and it's also include condition. So this note to me is very beautiful. I love this. This series is one of my favorite series. So what is it? I can explain. This currency, as is written here, this entire portrait, this is youth, this is the history, or this is history, this is youth, history, instructing, as is written here. The title is History Instructing Youth, telling the world of the modernization. History telling the youth. Look at that. That's the capital city of United States of America. The details, and thank Lord that I won this one, because the detail are still visible. I don't know whether you can see. Look, zoom in here. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, the details of the landscape, the cityscape. You can see a power plant having a stack pluming out smoke. You see the Capitol, and then the national monuments. They're all there in detail. Whereas compared to the other one that bidder that won, just what the $20-$30 behind me, or cheaper than me, I can actually see all these details here, the landscape. So when I look at that, when I bid it, I gotta have this condition. I gotta have this one rather than the other one. I'm not desperate to get the note if the condition is not so good, especially losing the details. So for me, I was quite happy and joyful to get this bank note, this currency, as to add into my collection. What else you can see? Yeah, then you can read all this, the Constitution of the United States. I don't know whether I can read it. Yeah, I can read it here. I can read it here, but I'm not going to read that. It's very lengthy. But actually, I can read this on the note itself. I don't know. You can read it here. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I can read it. Ooh, I'm so happy. Basically, this is the United States Constitution. The first few paragraph letters, and the first article and the second article is written here. So it praised the founding of the Declaration of Independence. The Constitution was established, the capital city of the United States right here. That is history telling the youth. That is our future. That is our past, and it will be the grandeur for any present day. We have also written the engraver's design. They have put all the famous people. Or some of that I do not know. Some of that I do know. Like for example, like this. I'm not too sure what is this, Long Ho or Long Bow, Sherman, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, Irwin, Cooper, Fulton, sorry, there you can see that, yeah, Fulton, Cohen, Clay, Jackson, and I think this one is called Dems, if I'm not mistaken, because this is a tear here. Probably it's Adams, or probably is Adams, if I'm not mistaken. And the three main people that is so-called the important people, the Jefferson, George Washington, and Benjamin Franklin. Then we followed by Hamilton, Perry, Marshall, Webster, Morse, and Houghton, Bancroft, Grant, Farragut. If I pronounce the name correct, it's a COG, I'm not too sure. Farragut and Emerson. This note is established under the Act of August 4th, 1886, for $1 silver. Serial number was pretty much very beautiful, blue color serial number, and the seal is red. And to me, it's kind of awkward. Normally when I see red, everything is red, or blue, everything is blue. This probably use two colors. It's quite interesting. What else do I can explain in this? I'll just read it out here. It says history instructing youth. Basically this instructing you. Basically this entire thing of the portrait is trying to show this can't read that one. Sorry. This certifies that there has been deposited in the Treasury of the United States, $1 payable to the bearer on demand, at Washington D.C. So, and then there's something that many people, I think if you're a very hardcore collectors, they might consider this one. This is series of 18, it's written here, 1896 D. There's A, B, C, D actually. So if you got an A and a low serial number in a good condition, it probably costs a lot of money. If those are the people who plays with fancy numbers or fancy notes, being the first note of its kind into the public, probably. But this is a D series, so it has passed A, it has passed B and C, so it goes to D. Probably that is one thing. Now a lot of people don't know, especially those who don't collect US dollars or understand European or Western history. This is quite significant. I mean, I read about this. Did you know this was actually symbol for justice, symbol for punishment for the righteous? It's basically it's a Roman symbol for a warrior conducting a justice. You know, a judge, adjudicators. They use this before American uses the balancing and a blind lady who is who has blindfolded on his eye so that he cannot see what are they, and judged by its evidence. Well, in the old days, this was founded in the Romans. This is a Roman symbol of justice, and quite sadly, the name of it is called facet. If I pronounce it correctly, it's called facet, and is very related to the word and has been sadly hijacked. If you can check in the Wikipedia for this one, the old traditional Roman X. Sadly, in the 20th century, one man started to use this as a symbol of his power, his political power to govern the country. It's hijacked by evils. I would say evil, as what historically would call him. Mussolini. Benito Mussolini uses this symbol for his political party and his government. And that is where the word fascismo was born. From facet, as a Latin word, he used the Italian word as fascismo, and deliberately it becomes fascist, based from this traditional acts, so-called in Roman time. It represents justice and to conduct justice for the truth, and it was hijacked in the 19th century by Benito Mussolini to become fascismo, the birth of fascism. So there's a dark tale there about this one, such a historical thing, this hammer, this axe. But anyway, America still uses this symbol. Some state, I believe, they uses this as a symbol of justice. The still original term of this traditional axe is used, the fascist axe. So let's not refer this to fascism, what Mussolini did. Now for the back reverse, the color, the details are still profoundly there, especially the portrait. Nothing seems to fade away. I mean, in my condition, the only thing part is fade away is right here, because of so many times probably there's historical of this banknote being used has been abusively folded here. That's why you can see one line here. But overall, other side, like here, minor fold here, and monofold straight here. Probably I can see, yep, there is one here. The note condition is still good. You still can see the so-called rainbow fibers here. This fibers as a technology at that day as a security feature. And looking at the details, there's a lot of details here. The glitch is so much. Again, is to deter counterfeiters. The more complex it is, the more difficult to counterfeit, to copy it. So the portrait here, I think, is very profoundly good. The founding father, George Washington, and Martha Washington, having the two power couple, the first family, the first couple of the United States, being in the first silver banknote denomination. So much of meaning in such paper, in one paper. So it is so profoundly. And for Margaret Washington to be on the banknote again is very profoundly difficult, because a lot of the banknotes in the United States are masculine. They are very rarely put women on the banknote. Virtually, there are none. Probably coins, yes, they put the women on the coins recently, of course. For the past 10 years, recently, since the year 2000, they started to put women portraits, figures onto the coinage, but not on the banknote. If you look at the catalog, the history of the currency in the United States, all banknotes portraits are men. Either they are presidents, or they are someone great, deal or contributing to the country. Yeah, but for women, no. The only women that is put out officially in as a single, like a solo debut on a banknote, on the banknote, is Margaret Washington. Of course, this one at this point of time is shared with his husband, shared with her husband, George Washington. But the notes before that, probably in 1860 or what or so, I think, is another silver certificate, if I'm not mistaken. She is a standalone. Margaret Washington was a standalone banknote. There were two issues, if I'm not mistaken. There were two types of banknotes of the same currency. $1, if I'm not mistaken, were issued with a portrait of herself. No men, no share. That as time progresses until this, in 1896, she still profoundly on the portrait, but sharing together with her husband, George Washington. And from then on, after this banknote was discontinued, sadly, we will never see another profound historical women on a banknote. I mean, for United States banknote. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there is somebody who knows more than me, correct me on the details on this. So that is my joy of today, that I found these two banknotes. As you can see, these are the two of the banknotes that I got it. I am so happy that I'm able to find a banknote that I could afford. Finally, I could afford something that I wanted to have in my collection. I'm very happy. And since Chinese New Year is coming around the corner, it's a bonus for me having the euphoria. So I'm going to study more detailed, check the conditions and so forth, and probably I'm going to grade it. I'm considering thinking of creating this under my collection, my own personal collection. I'm not going to sell this unless I have the money to buy a better condition. Now, before even buying a better condition of this banknote, I would need to get first, as a prerequisite for myself in a collection, I need a $2 and a $5. Once I achieve the $2 and the $5, come back to the $1 to get a better condition, probably EF, extremely fine condition. Of course, depends on the price. For me, getting this at $320 in the bidding, and compared to eBay, what they're selling is a huge saving. It is a huge saving. For me, I felt, for me, it's a huge saving. So having this, my very first educational series, $1 silver from United States, is a huge thing. I don't know whether any one of my colleagues or my friends have it. for this kind these banknotes. Probably they do have or even better condition, but at the moment none of the people I know of in Malaysia who collects US currency, mm, not all of them have this one, and probably they are not willing to sell it. That tells me something. There is a value that is difficult to get in my country and is very rare, and nobody dares to separate them to sell or having to sell it. Even myself, I'm not willing to sell this banknote anytime soon unless I have another one in a better condition. Then I would consider this. Maybe even not selling it, probably giving this as a gift to somebody I think should be worthy. I have a friend, I have a partner, my partner in crime, who in where she is interested in collecting US currency. Of course, at the moment, her thinking of US currency is the conventional ones that today currency. Of course, the reason is if collecting and also as currency exchange is very strong and very high. That is one of the reasons she loves to collect US dollar, but she has not started to collect banknotes like in this kind of condition, the large scale ones, those brilliant $2, the red seals, the lime seals, the blue seals, the yellow seal, the brown seals. She only knows the conventional one, which is the dark green seals. So a lot of things that she doesn't know that I really want to give her a surprise on that. That's my own personal persuasion. To have a joy of giving people something that they might potentially like it, and to continue collecting, and I hope that will happen for her, truly. And for those anyone in Malaysia or whoever is in Kuala Lumpur, if you have something like this, let me know. Maybe we can share more knowledge about US currency, especially if anybody in the United States willing to help me to get me a free book or any of the official kind of catalog books on the United States. The latest one would be nice, or slightly older, because I want to compare the price also, and also knowing how many quantities. One of those books, probably you could help me get me one. A second hand will be still fine for me, actually, so long I got a hard copy in my hand. Or anybody can suggest me where I could get a catalog of US currency, like it's similar to free books catalogs, in a soft copy or in a PDF that I can download it for free or pay a little bit, like probably $10 or so or less, something digital copy. I don't mind at the moment, because I couldn't find any of the PDF copies. Hard copy, I would like it, but if anyone would help me to get me and then bring it, or just mail it to me as a gift, okay, as a gift. Of course, if you want me to pay some damages and so forth, I'm willing to discuss further on, but I don't want to buy the book for the sake of paying the bloody 10% extra. It doesn't feel fair to me when the retail bookshops are not able to acquire those books, and yet I have to be charged 10% for that. That is quite a blunder, I would say. So anyway, this is the only note I got today. These two, but this two, one of it is my dream note that I finally got it. I'm very happy to get it, and I would continue to find out more detail about it and admire on this before I decided to grade it. Anyway, thank you so much. If you like the videos, please like the videos. If you don't like it, then just ignore it. And if you want to continue to see my further collections input, probably you can just subscribe, so that you get an alert notification and so forth. But again, I would say every time, this is my own personal archive of the things that I have collected. It's meant to be used for myself, but I also wanted to share my collection to all of you, to tell you guys what I have or what is my opinion, and also getting opinions from you guys, telling me maybe I say something wrong, or the truth is this. So I hope that would be better for us, as a collector. That is a better way for us to understand and collect. So thank you very much again, and I hope to see you very soon in the next video, probably in few more days in the weekend. All right, thanks, bye.